Test.
And we are live. Welcome in, everybody, to episode 265 with your favorite buds over at the Budhole. This episode, Gage's Rage, is going to be coming in hot with a Fantasy 101 off the top. We're going to get into the J.K. Dobbins fallout, injury fallout, as well as talk some other chatter leading up to the season for the NFL. Welcome.
Sweet. You should have that set
should
up
be better.
like before.
Well, kick it off, Gage.
Welcome in, everyone, to episode 265. And let's get it going with the Fantasy 101 of the day. Making your team better. Part dos, trading. And it was only fitting we couldn't do the trading episode without Scott Melgren, a trade addict.
I'm the fantasy gardener because I'm just planting seeds everywhere I go.
You honestly hope when he calls you talking about a trade, he just has his pants on.
I even strategically named my team in our league this year, Scott Milgren, because I'm hoping I can trick someone into trading with me just based off of my name.
Name alone. It's a very good strategy, but that's not the strategy we're talking today. We're talking about encouraging trades and making trades. So if you want to make your team better, you can hit the waiver wire or you can make some trades. And trades there's an art to making trades. There's an art of the deal that needs to be done. Not only does the team...
Where'd you get that from?
Reciprocating the offer have to want interest, but you need interest as well. So you really have to talk to your entire league. You have to feel out players. If you're going in with a narrow mind, like you just want this one guy, it's probably not going to happen. Okay? I mean, everyone wants this one guy. There's a million reasons why you want McCaffrey. You got to give the McCaffrey owner reasons why you should trade for him, right? So trading is tough. You got to also find value where maybe the owner doesn't have that same value. So asking how said owner like Brandon ranks his running backs. And let's say you value a guy a lot higher than Brandon does. Target that guy. Go for that guy instead of having that narrow-minded tunnel vision trying to make a specific trade for one guy. It'll help your odds of success quite a bit. Or you could just be like Scott and just sling offers all over the board and see what sticks and make about 50 moves a year and never have the same team any given week.
It's a spitball approach, baby.
Also, if you're making a trade offer, make a fair offer.
Yeah,
there's so many bullshit offers that get sent around the league. And then some people get mad when you say no to them. And that is another thing. If someone offers you a trade or you're offering a trade and they say no, don't come at them and say your team's trash. Why not? Or call them an idiot or a dumbass, because that's going to make them never want to trade with you ever again. Happened to one of my leagues, and I won the ship that year. He wanted Peyton Manning. I said no. He said, why? Your team's trash anyways. You're not going to make the playoffs. Snuck in, won the ship. Odell Beckham's rookie year.
Art of the deal. You want to be not only a good salesman, but a good fantasy owner as well. So obviously the customer face, whatever you want to call it, having that good conversation so the team doesn't get insulted and that owner never wants to deal with you again. Like Scott makes a trade with an owner and the guy quits the league the next year.
Yeah, he's not even in it anymore.
I don't know how that happened, but some may say trade assault.
He's busy, Gage. He's busy.
Can I ask you all about trade morals here?
Yeah.
We did talk about this a little bit last week, but we can definitely get into it.
So I just, as a personal example, I received a trade offer about a week ago. It's still active.
About a week ago.
For they wanted Irv Smith for Dallas Goedert. And I still have it. And part of me wants to, but it's a good friend of mine.
Fuck them.
That seems like I would just give myself bad football karma going into the season. If I give him an injured tight end that wasn't
tight end.
Yeah.
It's like pros and
this
cons
guy
here.
should have canceled that trade. Don't leave trades out in the open for injured players, man. Trade that guy.
You have that out there, you get rid of it right away.
Yes, as soon as you hear, if you were trying to trade for J.K. Dobbins and you were going to pay the farm, and then J.K. Dobbins tears his ACL, you don't make that trade no more. You cancel that bitch. Get it back. That is how you make your team worse, not better. That'd be making your team a lot better.
So you don't think it's
trade.
like against fantasy morals to do that?
He offered it to you.
Pre-injury.
But it's still there.
Cancel that
Now,
trade,
the other
man.
question, I saw this. I saw this yesterday.
Not our league. I don't have Irv in our league.
I saw this the other day. Somebody had sent a trade for an injured player, knowing the player was injured. Like he sent the opposite way. So he had J.K. Dobbins and he was making an offer for Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor owner didn't realize the injury happened, hit accept.
Oh.
Where do you sit with that?
Ooh, that's shady. Like you just hear the news, it's breaking within 20 to 30
that's
minutes.
shady. I think
And
that
you
could
send
be
that
returned.
offer out.
That could be. That
I
trade
don't
could
know
be-
how
Like you're
soon it was.
watching
It
a
was a Twitter
preseason
thing.
game and you saw it. I mean, if you're watching it live and you send that, that's shady. And like Star's point, you're building up bad fantasy karma.
So
Right.
what about in this Irv Smith situation where Irv, for instance, could come back, but we don't know the severity. He could be out 6 to 8 months, possibly, or 4 to 6 weeks. So you could still say, I like my tight end situation enough to want to go after Irv Smith if he comes back. So when they sat there and they made that trade for Dobbins, they didn't know Dobbins was done for the year. It was assumed.
I mean,
Everybody would have
knee
assumed
injury.
it, but still there's that viable option that he could have came back before Test came back, concluding it.
Yeah,
I think at the point specifically to Irv Smith right now, you got to wait and see.
What up?
Because if it's that 6 to 8 month number, nobody wants to trade for
no
that
one
in a
else
year.
would. No.
If it's that 4 to 6 weeks, and you make it,
He might be
everybody
playing
knows.
week one.
Yeah, I mean, Carson Wentz just got surgery on his foot a few weeks ago. He was supposed to miss the first week of the season, and the dude's practicing.
Oh,
So-
Yeah, he's on the IR now.
Well, he's on the COVID list, which is only 5 days, but
Oh shit.
he's going to be playing week 1 if he doesn't get injured again. So I think with Irv Smith, you got to wait and see the surgery, see how it comes back. It sounds like he can either go short term, which would be the 4 to 6, or get a long term surgery, which would be 6 to 8 months. If I'm him, I go short term.
He needs to prove something.
Yeah.
Real quick, my last 2 cents on trading. Each team should feel like they're both losing.
No, winning.
Or both winning. That's preferred.
You both want to feel like you're winning. That's
If
a good
both
trade
teams
game.
feel like they're winning, that's a good move. If both teams feel like they're losing, that's also a good move.
That's
in my
okay.
book.
That's better than one team
Yeah.
feeling like they win and one feeling like they lost.
You
Or
don't want to trade assault anyone. They should be fair trades. Both losers, both
it
winners.
depends. It depends who they are.
Yeah, how they say it.
We made
Sure.
a pretty fair one. I don't recall who it was.
Yeah.
But I think that was one of the more fair trades.
It was like Lev Bell.
guys.
It was like Lev Bell for wide receiver. It was a running back for wideout flop.
It was 2 flops.
Oh yeah,
that we
you're right.
traded for each other.
Yeah,
and
you're
that's
right.
where you both felt like losers. That's what I mean.
Well, we both ended up being losers. Neither of us won it that year. So I mean, at the end of the day, especially in yearly leagues, trades. The best way to get a trade done is not through the trade manager in the app. The best way is to actually reach out to the person and talk to them, because what you
Feel
get a
them
lot
out.
in those trade managers is you shoot a trade to somebody. And for me, for instance, I never shoot my best shot right away. I'll be like, hey, I'll give you fucking this and that for this guy. And he'll be like, well, I like this guy on your team. And you're like, all right, well then let's make it the guy you like for the guy I like and put some fillers in to get the job done.
Get the Legos that you need
Yeah.
to make this a build.
But generally it takes at least 2 to 3 kind of back and
and-
forths before you start to get somewhere. Or sometimes people are just like not for sale, which in yearly leagues I think is stupid, but that's besides the point.
There is a lack of trading in my dynasty league or
Yeah.
keeper league.
I don't like,
That's
I hate
tough.
that. It's hard because one of the quickest ways, speaking dynasty wise specifically, the quickest ways to turn your team around is trades. It can do it. Drafts only come once a year. Trades can be made anytime.
The one trades that we do get is the people who sell the farm that aren't going to make the playoffs to the playoff teams in hopes that they're going to buy with their future picks the championship. It doesn't work all the time. Sometimes Star Lamar sneaks along there with his drafted team and wins.
And takes it to the house.
Yeah, and I mean a lot of leagues have that trade deadline, so it's tough to narrow it down who's going to be a playoff team and who's going to be a fucking flopper and wants to sell all their assets.
You should absolutely have a trade deadline, though.
Trade deadlines are
Absolutely.
needed.
Yeah.
The other thing too is make that trade deadline. I'm trying to remember the right time, like right before Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
You want it to be pretty late.
9,
You do want it to be pretty
right
late.
before the push for the fantasy playoffs, and
Would you
still
push
got
it
enough
back?
time where you got
Would you push it back this year since we have that
one
extra week? So now you're starting playoffs week 14. So would you go to like week 10?
I would still
and give
keep it
yourself
around
3
that
weeks?
week 8, 9, 10
8,
range.
9, 10. Yeah, somewhere in there is a good window.
And another thing, don't have trades to where the league can vote to veto.
No
them.
vetoes.
That's
Fuck
the worst
veto.
thing ever. It's
Go
terrible.
right into Gage's raid. No. Fuck vetoes.
They're necessary in certain times.
Yeah, but
No,
it's,
they're not. No
it-
trade should be vetoed.
The
There's-
argument is if there is a vetoable trade, those people should not be in your league.
that's exactly the point.
Fair.
So there are trades out there. We had it back in high school. I mean, there's kids that were $10 and I'll give you this player, and it was a shit deal back and forth. Those types of people should not be in your fantasy football league
Yeah, you
unless
get
you're
rid
in
of
one
them.
of those like backdoor sneaker leagues that I was telling you about last.
The one that Brandon thinks is a great idea.
Oh, the fuckaroo league?
Yeah.
Yeah, the fuckaroo.
Unless you're in one of those, then you can do that. But
No vetoes. Vetoes are so dumb.
Just get into your Gage's Rage of the Week. We got it pulled up here, the
Yeah.
banner.
it's ready for you.
That's all I had.
That's it.
It's a weak rage.
It's a pop.
It's a quick pop.
Yeah,
Fuck vetoes. All right, let's move on with life here.
We had a good weekend, man. I'm not full of rage right now.
Oh,
We
yeah.
did have a good
Yeah.
weekend. We'll get into that
Yeah,
later
look at
this
that.
week.
All right. One thing we'll touch on here is preseason is come to an end.
Woo!
Regular season, we have 10 days
Oh, so
before we have
fun.
NFL football. Oh, yeah.
We have only one more week of shows, the Butthole. We have exactly 5 shows until boom, Thursday
We have
night
to give our
kickoff.
predictions next week.
We got a lot
Yeah,
to
we
do.
Next week's going to be busy.
We got a short amount of time to do it.
Yeah, and it's a holiday. So, Star,
Hey, we're doing
I've
what are we doing?
committed to be here.
you did?
Yeah, it's right before football starts. We have to do it.
Okay.
We don't have a choice.
We're all
the
gonna be
4th
here
of,
now, damn it.
the 4th of July, we're going to start taking that off yearly, which I don't know if we will or not.
Great point. We
Okay.
should.
Yeah, that's a holiday.
If we're working on my fucking Labor Day, we're
But,
taking the 4th
but
out.
Labor Day, we'll be here because we're committed, damn it.
We are committed to the bit. Roster cuts are going to be done 8:31 Wednesday
At what time?
4
Tuesday.
Eastern. Is it Tuesday?
It's a
What's the
Tuesday.
fuck?
Yeah,
It's
that's
Tuesday.
8:31 is Tuesday.
8:31 Tuesday.
Yeah,
between-
tomorrow. Well,
at
yeah.
3 o'clock Central Time. Fuck Eastern, but I put it
Oh,
on there.
shit.
And you got to think here,
53 man.
you're
roster?
going from 80, I think, 4 to 53.
Somewhere
Most
around
teams
there.
are cutting
Yeah.
30 players.
Whoa.
There's going to be a lot of good names that get cut.
A couple already. I mean, serviceable guys. Yeah, like Forrest Lamp, he might be an option to pick up as like a flex guard,
A depth
backup
guy? Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Max Skura
For your fantasy team?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
If you play in a guard premium league, pick them up.
Flex guard.
Then Matt Skura, the center for the Dolphins, he got cut. He was a good center for a couple years. I mean, you got some backup, some depth that you could get.
Okay. We
Rashad
actually-
Perriman, Star thinks is number one guy.
I just said he looked good with Jameis with some injuries to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers a couple years ago, and the Saints should go take a look at him.
We got a question here, Mr. Grapefruit. Thoughts on a build of like Kamara, Chubb, and Allen? I mean,
This guy's
personally,
joining a 10-team
I
standard league.
huge fan. I mean, if you take the abs of Kamara with like the build of Chubb, but the height of Josh Allen,
Is it Josh Allen or is it Keenan Allen?
oh man, either.
He is talking about Josh Allen,
Okay.
quarterback.
Josh
Paired
Allen.
with 2 top 12 RBs in an auction draft.
But this is just a standard league.
10-team auction draft. Yep. Standard league.
I like
I-
Chubb.
Yeah,
Chubb is great for standard. I think his value in standard goes way
And
up.
I love Josh Allen. I love running quarterbacks in standard leagues. That's
Huge
you're getting
upside.
Yeah.
those yards.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
and Kamara with that offense and Jameis Winston behind center. I don't think you can go wrong with him in any format.
So
Chubb was
Mr.
one
Grapefruit,
he was one of the guys last year too that was one that didn't catch more than 45 passes, but was an RB1.
Yep.
Something
one
like
of
that.
the only 2 guys in the league, I think, with Derrick Henry.
There might have been more last year because of the injuries to pass catchers, but yeah, typically it's 1 or 2, and I think last year was 4. But yeah, one of the few
We're-
guys.
I think we're all on board getting 2 of those top 12 RBs, though, would be a solid move, especially in a standard league.
Yeah, you got to
This-
assume in that. I guess it is not a draft; it's an auction.
Auction,
So
he said. Yep.
But still.
A little bit of advice, really quick, just for you, those of you that haven't drafted yet. Go running back early because wide receivers are deep. we've ran enough drafts this year as a group to see that there's a lot of depth at wide receiver.
Our draft, we had all running backs go in the first round. It was crazy.
It was 12 running backs in the first 12
Sucked
picks.
at pick 12.
And Mr. Grapefruit, we appreciate you checking out the Great Butthole, man.
Yeah,
You're the man.
the man, Mr. Grapefruit. Any other questions? Let us know. We'll be glad to answer your questions.
Hell yeah.
All right, moving on. We did talk a little bit, maybe. I don't know if we touched on it. Some unfortunate news on Saturday. J.K. Dobbins out for the season. Tore his left ACL.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where the Ravens decided it was a good idea to get their starters a little bit of run in the preseason, knock the rust off, and they lose their starting running back for the entire year because of it.
He's their number 2 running back.
Yeah.
That's true. Lamar's their number 1.
Cannot forget about Lamar.
But at the end of the day, is it really worth losing a guy like that to get him a couple snaps in the preseason?
So are you just saying we shouldn't have preseason anymore?
I'm just saying guys like that are going to be key roles to your offense, I don't think it's necessary.
Chargers did it. They didn't play any fucking starter at all.
It's been weird this year seeing the difference in teams' mentalities. Like Patrick Mahomes, I'm sorry, but there's
He should not have
no
been
reason
out
that
there.
dude should be on the field.
Did Everson Griffin get a sack on him?
Not on Mahomes.
Okay.
Different.
Okay.
Yeah, Henny probably.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Still,
heavy. It was
No.
a
Why?
Michelle.
Yeah.
Why are
Yeah.
these guys playing?
You shouldn't have Mahomes out there.
I mean, Dobbins, maybe I could see him playing just because he is only coming into his second year and he's not established as a star yet. I mean, he had a nice rookie season, but Patrick Mahomes, no reason at all. You had Sean McVay, who's come out and said as long as he's the head coach, Matthew Stafford will never take a preseason snap. You have the Vikings. Mike Zimmer decided that Dalvin Cook was not going to play during the preseason. Certain players, just it's not worth the risk.
Yeah.
Especially if they have a history of injuries already. You know?
Or if he's your $500 million quarterback.
Yeah.
Then maybe don't put that out there. It's a huge investment. $400 million guaranteed.
That wasn't Josh Allen out slinging touchdowns yesterday.
He was.
He was playing too?
Yeah, Josh
Yeah.
Allen played.
They must weigh the risk versus reward.
And Steph Diggs
Because it
did not.
seems like the risk would outweigh the reward, especially with no preseason last year and how some of these teams came out and played.
The thing
week 1
is,
was fine.
players are going to run the risk of getting injured anytime they step on the field. It's just as likely to happen in the regular season as it is in the preseason
or in practice.
or in practice. We saw it happen to Teddy. Didn't Cam Akers get hurt in practice?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
it wasn't even practice. It was just training.
off-season
training camp.
yep.
But yeah, so I mean, this can happen at any time.
And
any
the
place.
first thing first, we all love the fantasy football aspect of football, man. It's amazing. We love players, we love offense, but this is a business to the NFL. Not only are people paying good money to watch them, they're paying to watch the preseason games too.
Yeah.
And they
They
do
are.
not want to go and see third stringer guy that's going to get cut in 72 hours fuck up a play.
That's a good point.
play an
You want
entire
to see
game.
a little bit of your guy get out there for a quarter and a half and then see who his backup is. Maybe.
That's a good point.
And then
Yeah,
you could
it's-
go explore around the fucking stadium and get your burger and a jersey or whatever.
And
It's
that's
his
the
business.
And that's the reason why no matter how loud people get regarding no preseason games, there will probably always be preseason games.
And there is a need, not as much for Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady.
I mean,
but
Patrick
there's an-
Mahomes did look a little rusty in our game.
Uh-huh.
yeah, he only had a 158.3 passer rating, which
It's
wait,
only-
that's as high as it can get.
Yeah, but his name's Patrick Mahomes. He gets 150.
Just for
Two.
namesake.
Yeah.
And he did only throw a 35-yard, absolute beautiful touchdown to Tyreek Hill. It could have been more. 35 is not that much.
There's only one. They don't need to
That's
play,
just-
but you do need rookies to
Happened
get
be
out
how
there.
much the field was
You
left.
need the Kenny
It could
and
have been
Wangus
99
of the
with that
world
route.
to get some reps. You need
That was
the
beautiful.
Zach Wilsons, the Mac Jones, and Cam Newton debate. You have Teddy Bridgewater, Drew Lock. Like you need situations where your guys that are going to be playing for you need to get out there and show that they're going to be your guys.
And you want him playing with the starters to show that
Yeah.
as well.
I would say I think 3 is the right number, though. 3 seems to be better than 4. It puts a little sense of urgency on the guys that are fighting for a roster spot. It allows you now 2 weeks before the season starts, which I think is a nice thing for teams to have.
I think they get a week off.
Yeah, nice for fucking teams, but it's not nice for me, man. I want football now.
Dude, watch college football.
What
Throw
a
some
fucking-
grease on some college football.
We got this Thursday night.
Gophers and Buckeyes.
Yeah.
Did you
Real
not?
big. Gophers are going to win that, jump right into the top 5, go for the national championship. Calling it here. Heard it here
NDSU
first.
had a
I'll bet
really
you they
good
don't
game this
win.
last week.
I'm not betting.
Of
I'm not a
course you're
fucking
not, you-
idiot.
Let's see.
I'm just saying because if I called it, then I can be like, go back, watch. I called it, and if I is not right.
Fuck you,
I
Star.
just made an insane call. No one's gonna be like, "Oh, you're insane."
Yeah,
heard it
plus,
here first.
Stars
Gophers
insane.
beat the Buckeyes Thursday night.
Dude,
What's the name of the new field?
It's Huntington Bank Stadium.
At the HBS.
But I thought it was US Bank Stadium.
It used to be TCF
that
Bank.
is the Vikings. All right. People
I was
make
actually
mistakes.
going to ask you guys if you wanted to
People
go
don't
to the
forget.
game
You're
a
Thursday
dick.
night,
And then you looked at ticket prices. I
What
also
the
did.
fuck, dude?
Where are the places?
I know this is off base,
For
but
preseason.
it's
No,
still
for
football. So we'll
Gophers,
talk.
Ohio State.
Oh, gotcha.
It was, I swear on my life, middle of the field, first section. It was like $350 a pop.
I saw higher when I was looking. It was like 440 for like 50-yard.
That's what I was. And then I looked in the corner, and it was still like 220. I was like, nope, not interested in
You get
that.
to see the Ohio State University.
Not gonna lie, sounds like a lot of money.
It is.
But if you go to that game and they win, and you
they-
have that memory for the rest of your life, like if you were at that Penn State game a couple years ago, how cool you think that'd be to rush that field?
Oh, it would have been amazing.
Would have been awesome.
That's
So,
who's buying these. A
That's
bunch of
why-
rich fucking Ohio State bitches.
Probably.
they're not
Yeah,
going to
man.
rush the field. This is just a win for them.
No, dude. There is a real scenario where the Gophers upset the Buckeyes.
You think?
The Gophers have probably the best running game. They'll have a top 2 or 3 running game for sure in the Big Ten this year. Mo Ibrahim has a chance to be a top 2 round pick in the draft. Their offensive line is back from 2 years ago. Every single one of them. That line mashed Auburn, mashed almost every team they played. If they can run the football and allow their defense to get after the quarterback and not let Ohio State just run the ball down our throat, make them throw, they have a chance to win.
Isn't this where the season absolutely crumbled last year against Ohio State? Like they were like 5-0 until they played Ohio.
No.
No.
No, it was rough last year.
Yeah, last year was
Last year
down
we were
year.
like 3-4. We had COVID issues all the time.
Oh,
Bunch of shit.
I
Back
don't
to
watch
Ohio
college
State.
football.
I think they are starting a true freshman
Yeah,
quarterback
First, yep.
since like RJ. No, not RJ Barrett. But who's the guy?
Yeah.
Braxton Miller.
No, RJ Barrett. He was the last one
RJ
that started
Barrett.
as a true freshman for them. Yeah.
Who's the basketball player that plays for?
That's RJ Barrett.
That's what I thought for the Knicks. That's what I
Oh
was
yeah,
thinking.
no, you're right. What's the Barrett that started for them then?
JT Barrett.
JT Barrett. That's what it
so
is.
close.
Yeah. JT
Barrett's
Barrett.
in the right range.
Did you guys just say basketball?
Yeah.
Well,
What?
that's
Yeah.
What's that? All
we're
right.
well versed here at the butthole. We
So-
know basketball too.
We're out
That's
there.
how J.K. Dobbins tore his ACL, though.
yeah. Back
So
on
wait,
track.
but I just want to know: are you picking Gophers cover spread?
What's the
Would
line?
you put grease on that? 13.5.
Yuck.
This is what I hate to do. I hate to bet my heart.
That's true.
I hate
Because
doing
then it's
that.
even. It could make a loss feel better,
Yeah.
Wait,
but it
wouldn't
could
your
also
heart
make
be
a
an
loss feel
NDSU?
worse.
What?
Wouldn't your heart be an NDSU?
He hasn't had one in a long time.
No,
If he had one, it would.
I've been cheering for the Gophers since I was a little shaver. NDSU was a good party school for a
So
year.
When did you
shaving
start
I
his head.
shaving?
swear he
Yeah.
was cheering for Ohio for a minute too.
I'm a Ohio State fan, but I cheer for the Gophers over the Buckeyes.
There's so many college
This is
football
what I
teams.
say.
You are fans of all
This is
these
what I
things.
say. I cheer for Ohio State so I get to watch games that matter, and I cheer for the Gophers because I've been cheering for them for my entire
One
life.
second, everybody.
He's
Hold
got
with
a
us
point.
while we get some technical difficulties
Okay.
sorted out.
You have a favorite team that's competitive.
Yeah.
You have a favorite team that you watch every week. That's the Gophers. And then you have favorite teams in like other conferences. I have a favorite Big 12 team. I have a favorite Pac-12 team. I have a favorite SEC team. Like there's so many teams and so many games to watch. So you kind of have to have a dog in the fight or you're not going to enjoy watching football all day.
And college is fun because there's so many teams. Like
Yeah.
you can, yeah.
That's like saying you have a Vikings are out, so I'm going to take my AFC team,
No,
the
it's not.
Patriots.
I
No, it's
do
not.
have that though.
I
It's
know.
not. It's not
You're
really
just
that. Though.
bandwagon hopping.
No, because what do you watch football all the time, right?
Golden Boy.
Do
I
you
love his hair.
do you
That's my
cheer?
favorite
Do you have
team.
a team that you cheer for when you watch a random game that
Vikings
the Vikings aren't
always.
playing for? But if they're not playing, you watch Thursday Night Football. You don't watch it and hope a team wins.
I mean, yeah. I got
So
some
that's
teams
like
that I
the
love.
point. You got teams that you like outside of the Vikings. You're always going to root for the Vikings if they're playing. But outside of that, I know you were on the Browns bandwagon. You like the Buffalo Bills. You're going to root for them if they're playing, as long as they're not
Yeah.
playing. That's exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's all we're saying, bro.
Just a football fan. Sue me.
No, I'm not. I don't want
We
to.
were stupid for having fandom in another team.
Well, you
that
can't
would
deny
be-
it being a bandwagon hopper, though.
That would be like being.
I'm not a
fan
bandwagon
of
hopper though.
The
'Cause
Lions. the
I've been
Bears, and
cheering
the
for Ohio
Packers.
State since I was like 8.
I would root for
What
the
were you just saying
Lions
about the fucking
over
Gophs?
any of those teams because they're probably
I've been
at least
cheering for the Gophs
competition.
since I was like 8.
Scott. Okay,
So Wisconsin would be like the Badgers would be like voting for the Packers, rooting for them. So you don't do that, but you're rooting for the Bears.
Not really though, because
The Lions.
this is the difference. You guys are failing to
are.
understand.
Yeah.
Is college-
interdivisional, inter championship.
college football though? College
In the
football
Big Ten
is tiered.
Whatever you
Ohio
wanna call it.
State
Fuck.
every single year has a
championship?
chance to win the title.
conference.
The Gophers don't. The Gophers almost never have a chance
Football
to compete for the title.
Yeah, not with fans like that. How's the weather outside, Scott?
Whatever,
It's all about
man.
the fans. And now that
Fair,
kids are
fair.
getting paid, they're never going to have a chance.
Yeah, it's just gonna be that much worse now.
That's your favorite team. You're saying they never have a chance.
Huh?
With kids getting
With kids
paid?
getting paid for their likeness in college, you think they're going to choose to go to the
Oh.
University of Minnesota over Alabama, where they can walk in there and sign with an agent and get $1 million in their first year? Go to Ohio State, sign with an agent, and make $1 million? No, those people that would stay home because they're homers, now that there's a chance to make money, are probably not going to stay home
Star, why can't someone make money at the U of M?
because there's not a market for them.
If you're
you're
gonna-
not
How do you
playing,
know?
you're not playing in games like the SEC's playing. You're not constantly in big bowl games.
It's the whole reason that the Timberwolves can't get big players to come here. For one, the team isn't that great, but two, it's cold weather most of the year. They're going to be dealing with the elements. I know they play inside, but people don't want to come to Minnesota.
People also want to play football outside of college. People also want to make money outside of college. I mean, also there's people that want to fucking make a degree. Go to college to get some knowledge.
Damn, I thought your brother
Damn,
was the
bro.
rapper.
So, I mean, if you could go to a school like Ohio State and make $1 million and maybe
And
play
also-
every other week,
Be a first round pick in the NFL, and
Would you
alright.
rather be, let's say, 23 coming out of college with a degree, or be 23 really going to get your degree but have $1 million in your bank account? Because that could be the difference. If they go and they play football and they make $1 million, I mean, they're going to have to be good players to do something like that. Most of them would probably go
There's
on
a
to
reason
NFL
I'm not
careers.
on the fucking scholarship, okay? I'd be choosing to go to school, not take that money and
You
run.
can have both though. You don't. That's what the thing. Now,
Now
with the
your school
college
is paid
likeness,
for.
you can do both. You can get paid the $1 million, be in school on a scholarship, so graduate without any student loan debt with the $1 million in your pocket, and have your degree.
and
You can have it all.
be a higher NFL prospect.
Yeah.
I'd like to look at the last 10 years and how many first rounders came from small schools compared to came from the Big Ten.
It's
Not Big Ten conference, but the Big Ten schools.
It's not.
It's not even close. So when you're saying, oh, they want to do well in the NFL, that's already why they're choosing those schools, is because it has a better chance of making them to the NFL. So now on top of that, they choose them because their likeness is, they have fans all over the country, not just in their state.
Okay, Star, how about this? You're such a baller. You take a team like the U of M and you bring them all the way up into fucking rankings in the top 5 of the AP poll. Is that what it is? And then you play for a championship with the Gophers. That's how good of a
It's a good
quarterback
poll.
you were. You brought a fucking terrible team in a terrible city with terrible fans out of their slump
I love it.
and made them a championship team. What happens to you then? You're not buried behind JT fucking Dickface on Ohio State's roster, and the redshirted freshman comes in front of you.
and he's a Nick.
No, you get to play with the U of M, a D1 school. You get to get a great scholarship, and you become a fucking engineer, and then you win a championship.
You know what
You're that big
happens?
of a
Gage?
baller, and then you're draft pick number 1. That's
You're
what
probably
happens.
pick number 2 behind the best quarterback for LSU. That's probably what happens. It doesn't change anything.
All right.
You just decided to go a lot more difficult route with a lot less chance of competing in said championship.
These people who are planning on
And then what
making that
happens-
big bucks
LSU.
in college aren't worried about competing for a spot on that team either.
No.
They're not going to be making the big bucks if they're the backup just because they're on that team. They're going there because they want to be a star, and being a star on that team is what's going to make them the money.
Can we do a little bit of a college player scouting profile really quick? Because I don't know where you guys stand on Spencer Rattler. He's the projected number 1 pick
You didn't tell me we were going to talk about this.
in the 2022 NFL draft.
What
And I'm
position
not a
does he play?
big fan of him. Quarterback, Oklahoma.
Okay, it's fantasy related.
I'm a little bit worried about. I don't love the idea of having the number 1 pick and drafting Spencer Rattler.
Who's the North Carolina quarterback that is also in the conversation?
Fuck, what's his name?
Chad
I'll look him
something?
up.
Now I'll tell you right now, Rattler
No.
He's a linebacker.
Rattler is going to be amazing just because of his namesake.
If you ever watch the
great
show
Sam
QB
Howell.
yeah. Show QB1, you probably
Howell,
have a
you?
bad taste in your mouth from Spencer Rattler. He seemed like an extremely entitled kid, and I just still have that bad taste in my mouth. So I wouldn't take him personally, but the skill is there.
You remember the
Anybody
last
show up
big time
his
entitled
birthday
kid that
party.
was a 1st round pick though? Josh Rosen. He's on his 4th or 5th team now.
And you look at Johnny Manziel, who I'd closer compare him to.
No, I know, but I'm just saying the last one that was quote unquote entitled was Josh Rosen. That was a red flag about Rosen. He was entitled, and he's now on his 4th or 5th team. Like that's
how-
not a good trait to have.
How many people showed up to Rattler's birthday party?
I don't know. He can't remember.
He had so
He was
many.
pretty drunk.
He was pretty drunk.
Okay, fair enough.
Long story short,
Mister?
Gage, when you're picking a bandwagon team this year, because I know you love doing that in college football, watch
Illinois.
Oklahoma. Spencer Rattler, check him out.
Illinois.
Just for the name alone, I might watch one of those games.
And you know what you're probably going to also do? Probably going to cheer for him. Because you're bandwagon, just like me.
All right.
He is good. The talent's
moving
there.
on. We finished up our J.K. Dobbins talk, but we didn't
That's
even
how
get
J.K.
into
Dobbins
our
tore his ACL.
Gus Edwards talk because Gus Edwards is the clear guy to step in for him. Justice Hill, the next guy over the last.
Ooh, Gus Edwards or? I love games
Yeah.
like this.
We are going to pull that up. I'm going to give you a little information here. J.K. Dobbins, I'm lower than that. Gus Edwards stepping in over the last 3 seasons, getting about 140 some carries a game or a year. Sorry. And
Good
Holy
work.
shit.
Good workload.
A lot,
For
yeah.
you.
he's
Damn.
averaging 5 yards a carry, getting somewhere around 718 yards a year. Not being the starter and
He's
producing
a good runner.
last year 6 touchdowns. How many receptions do you think he's had over the last 3 seasons?
Total?
Total combined.
100.
No.
Star?
60.
I
About
feel like
20 a
you're
year.
leading us into this question because it's either more or less than we'd guess, and I'm leaning to less. I'm going to say 40.
You would be almost a little over 2 times higher than when he
Higher.
got 18 over the last 3 seasons.
Total.
Total.
Holy shit.
Justice Hill over the last 2, I think he's got less than that. They're not pass catching guys.
So who's the rookie that they drafted?
Who cares? I
Tyson
don't know.
Williams.
That's his way of saying, I didn't get that information.
I
Tyson
did
Williams.
not.
Tyson
I looked at
Williams.
the 2 clear guys that were going to be there. But
Taysom Hill.
Tyson Williams. That's the guy.
Good. That is it, Scott. Good job.
that was a good pull.
Yeah. I don't know where you got that from.
But anyway, so Gus Edwards does not get it done in the passing game. I do think he's going to catch more passes this year than he has in the last 3 years combined
Why would you expect that?
because he wasn't the clear option before. He's more of a goal line guy who's going to get it between 20s. He wasn't catching the ball. They
He's
had
a
options.
big boy.
They had options. I think he's going to catch at least 18 this year.
That's not a lot.
I'm not saying it's a lot. I'm saying he's going to catch what he had over the last 3 seasons.
Also, Tyson Williams, John Harbaugh himself confirmed that he will be on the 53, and it sounds like he might be the backup to Edwards. He's a name to watch.
There you
He's-
go.
Picked up in almost every dynasty league I'm in.
All right. Let's do a little Gus Edwards or
Woo.
Darrell Henderson.
Oh,
Give me Gus.
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 Gus Edwards or Josh Jacobs.
Gus.
That's a good question. I'm going to go Josh Jacobs.
I-
but that's damn close.
I'm leaning Gus.
I'm still holding out hope that John Gruden will pull his head out of his ass and actually pass the ball to Josh Jacobs because Jacobs can catch.
It's just like Kenyon Drake, dude. They paid him $6 million a year.
No, I realize that.
Drake is the pass catcher. Drake is the goal line scorer. Jacobs is fucked.
Okay, that's how
Why
you.
is Drake the goal line scorer?
Yeah,
Because
That's Jacob's bread and butter.
he does it very well.
Jacobs does it better.
I don't think he does.
Well, you're wrong.
Okay.
Look it up.
You listen to the infrared zone on
I listen to a lot of fantasy shit, Gage.
Gus Edwards or James Conner?
Gus.
He's the backup.
Yeah, he
Gus
might be a
Bus.
starter. James Robinson.
Gus.
James Robinson.
Gus Edwards has a much better offensive line and an offense that's going to be more conducive to scoring opportunities.
Yeah,
Gus
but
Edwards.
he doesn't have a running
They
back and
both have.
quarterback. Give me James
I
Robinson.
think Trevor's going to get his fair share of rushing touchdowns this year.
This
from
is
90 out.
this is the first
He is
time
athletic.
I'm taking not Gus Edwards. I'm taking James Robinson.
I'm taking James
I
in that.
agree.
He finished as a top 10 guy last year, and everybody's forgetting about that. Like he's even as the go-to guy again, even though I don't know if Urban Myers came out and gave him his gold star stamp of approval.
I don't think he ever will. He's
I don't
hard on the
think
guy.
we recorded since last time. Travis Etienne is also out for the season with the
Liz
foot.
Frank foot
Was
fracture.
that last week?
I don't think we talked about it last week though.
Yeah, so James Robinson is officially the starter. You heard it here from
And
last
James
on the
Robinson
official
can
Butthole
catch
podcast.
the football.
He can.
So that's a little side kicker in a PPR format.
And Robinson saw his success last year based on the amount of carries,
His volume.
targets, load, whatever you want to call it, workload that he got. The biggest concern this year was that Travis Etienne was going to take away from that. He's going to take away catches, going to take away carries. Now he's getting both those back.
And I think that offense is going to be much improved, and I think they're going to be competitive in games, which is going to help his volume even more because they don't have to abandon the run game to try to come back from 3 touchdowns down in the third quarter.
It'll only be 2.
There can only be 2.
Gus Edwards or Damian Harris?
Gus. Well, who's the starting quarterback for New England?
That's the next topic of conversation.
Damian Harris.
If it's
No, he said
Cam
quarterback.
Newton, I'm going to say
Gus.
Gus.
Oh, I thought you said starting running back.
So if Cam Newton's starting, you'd rather have Gus Edwards. If Mac Jones, Damian Harris.
Yes, because Cam Newton scored double-digit rushing touchdowns. I think those are directly correlated with Damian.
All right, and my last one, and I threw them both in there. Pick your poison: Leonard Fournette or Ronald Jones. Either one or Gus Edwards.
Oh, I'm
So
taking
just-
Gus over both of them.
So just
Combined.
Tampa
But
Bay's
between
top running
Lenny
back this year.
and Jones, I'd probably go playoff Lenny.
That's not an option.
Playoff Lenny or Gus Edwards.
I'm Gus Edwards. I'm pretty high on Gus Edwards for
Gus
the
is
year.
gonna do really
I think
good.
he's going to be in that running back 14 to 18 range easily.
Really that
Najee
high?
Harris
Oh, yeah.
wishes he could be as good as Gus this year.
Oh man, good thing I got both of them.
Oh,
And Ronald Jones.
I do. Don't you think Gus Edwards is going to be about a top end RB2?
right on the edge of RB1.
You really think so?
Yeah. Yes.
For sure.
I'm sitting more like
Dog
mid
is
to low end
RB22
RB2.
with fucking J.K. Dobbins ahead of him and fucking Big Trust.
Who?
Fucking
What do you think
Edwards
the chances
was
are
an
that
RB22 with Dobbins ahead of him. With Dobbins healthy, he wasn't.
the Gus bus.
Yeah.
He was a top 2 RB last year.
Oh, I thought you were talking projected this year.
no?
Gotcha.
He finished as like RB22 or so last year.
Yeah.
Did he really that
Yes.
high?
Yes,
Yeah.
the dude's a monster.
He needs the touchdowns.
He gets like
He
4
just
point-
needs
he
a
gets
guy like
He'll get
JK to
more
get
this
hurt, and he's going to have a freak year, and it happened.
Hey, he's just been buried on the depth chart.
All right, well, I hope you guys are right.
Maybe he doesn't.
Even if we're not right, he's going to be an RB, low end RB2, high end RB3 / flex play at the worst, which is
Yeah.
still fine for where you drafted him. If you're
I-
drafting now, I'd be a little careful, but
where would you draft him? What's the first round you're taking a shot on the Gus bus?
I would draft him in that running back 15 range. So we're looking
Round
at
three?
probably a 3rd round pick. Yeah.
I was thinking like 4.
3rd or
4 or
4th round
5.
pick.
Yeah. I took Jacobs, I think, in the 5th or 6th. So if Edwards was an option there, I probably would have. Actually, I'd win because my opinion of Edwards has changed during this conversation. But I wish I would have taken him ahead. I don't remember where he went in the draft.
Is it because Gage and I are such big Edwards fans that we're swaying you?
I'm getting swayed.
I love it. That's what we're here
Start.
for.
Well,
I'd
just
take him in
playing,
the 3rd.
playing Edwards or I just picked him over a whole bunch of people. So
Yeah.
obviously that makes me rethink how I feel about Edwards right now.
Oh, I love it.
All right.
That's a good game.
And that is Gus Edwards or. Coming up next, Cam Newton or Mac Jones.
Give me the kid. Mac Jones is looking like the real deal.
I mean, Mac Jones is better for the NFL, but I think Cam Newton is a better fantasy quarterback.
That would be fair.
That's a completely fair
Yeah.
point.
Which is what we're talking about. We're talking about fantasy.
So
Yeah, but he's a better fantasy quarterback, but Mac Jones would make better fantasy
Assets.
players. on
I
that
think
team.
if you have
Yes.
anybody on your team that's a New England Patriots skills player, you want it to be Mac Jones.
completely agree. Yeah.
But if you're looking for a guy that you can get at the end of the draft that could end up being close to a number one quarterback, Cam Newton's probably got a better chance than Mac Jones.
So I guess what's the question really?
It's from a fantasy perspective, who would you rather have under center for New England? I
Yep.
guess would be the question. And it's
Personally, I want Mac Jones because I'm bigger on Jacoby Myers. I'm bigger on Damian Harris. I'm bigger on Jonnu Smith with Mac Jones at QB. Cam takes away from everyone on that offense.
Mac Jones has probably looked in the preseason almost as good as like Trey Lance and Justin Fields. I think he's looked almost better than both of them. Like he's looked very good.
How do you think Trey Lance has looked?
Very good.
Do you?
Oh yeah,
Those abs.
How did he do this last game?
not very good.
Dude,
not
you
very
missed
good.
last week. He said he was going to start week 1.
And
He
be
said
rookie of the year.
I saw a play where he
And then
went
tried
to
to
hand
trade
the
him
ball
2
off
days later.
and it popped right out of his hands.
That's not rookie of the year.
He's got to beat out Shaq Barrett for rookie of the year, idiots.
I'm serious. If it's not going to happen, we don't need to get back into
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
Trey Lance
If
stuff.
better for fantasy is Mac Jones, you're going to see better workload for Harris, for Stevenson, for Jonnu, Henry. You're going to see a lot better options overall if Mac Jones is your quarterback.
And specifically too with Harris, Mac Jones isn't going to snipe goal line touches from Harris.
Yes.
No.
Cam Newton will.
Cam Newton had
Absolutely.
more rushing than passing touchdowns last year.
NFL's top players is on the television right now, and Josh Jacobs is on at 60 something. I just can't wait for the Kenyon Drake segment to come after this because he was definitely top like 50 in the league last year, wasn't he?
He
Kenyon
had to have
Drake?
been. He's
He had
better
to.
than Josh
He's
Jacobs.
better than Josh Jacobs,
Yeah.
so he must be coming up on this list.
He'll be
At
up.
certain aspects of the game. God, you guys
Yeah,
are
and none of
dense.
them include being a good running back.
dense motherfuckers is what you are. Criminy.
All right.
Now, I'll admit, I am a Josh Jacobs apologist. I love Josh Jacobs.
You traded your whole life for him.
That's
No,
true.
I did not.
Yeah.
Just half of it.
Jacobs and
And
Thomas
you
was
gave
the other half.
to your wife. Fuck.
No, to Thomas.
Oh, sure.
All right.
The Michael Thomas trade was a worse trade than the Josh Jacobs trade, but that's
That's-
for a
A
later
week
talk.
later, he's out for the whole fucking year.
And I almost got J.K. Dobbins as well. I almost
Man,
traded a lot of assets for 2 IR slot players, but let's continue
Just-
here.
you would have had to roster one of them too. All right. Moving on. 2021 sleepers. We're going to talk about wide
What?
receivers this week.
Okay, dibs on Jacoby Myers.
That's
I
your
love
sleeper?
that guy,
That's
yeah.
your sleeper?
Can I get mine?
Yeah.
Darnell Mooney.
So
I was going to say Darnell
well,
Mooney.
first
too.
off,
Good one.
let's talk about
Fuck, I got
where.
to think of another one.
What do you guys consider a sleeper? What round? What it just has to outperform ADP?
Yeah,
Where are you
well,
at?
okay. No,
Because
not
not Adam
out-
Thielen could be
yeah,
a sleeper.
not just outperform ADP. I would say it has to be somebody that's drafted in the 7th or 8th round or later. That outperforms
changes a lot of
ADP.
things. LaVisca Chenault in that case for me.
He's an absolute sleeper.
so like a
Laviska
guy
Shenault-
that's in like the wide
Bottom
receiver
half of the
40s
draft.
and will be wide receiver 3, 2, 1 top end guy.
Yeah.
Startable guy.
You still
I would
think
even go
Jacoby Myers?
I do.
I would even go a step further and say it's got to be a guy that has a legitimate chance of finishing as a top 24 wide receiver that's drafted outside of the top 40. So it's got to be a reach, but that's what the point of this is. It's a sleeper. There's a
Yep.
guy that you're going to take a stab at. I think another guy this year, honestly, that could be one is AJ Green. AJ
Going
Green is sneaky.
undrafted in everything I've had so far.
And
Shouldn't be.
if he stays
He shouldn't
healthy,
be.
which I know
Last
is a
pick of the
massive if, the dude is looking like he's excited to be in Arizona. And they have a lot of
I
skill
would be.
players around him. He could be a good option as well.
Have you heard what DeAndre Hopkins has said about him?
No.
Oh, dude's talking about how he's the best receiver he's ever seen.
And that's coming from Nuke. Like-
Who's played with some legends.
Yeah.
Just AJ Green's a beast, and I think he just wanted out of Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I think that's a great sleeper pick.
So other guys that kind of fall in that range, if we're talking round
He's
7,
a free agent, by the way, in the Dino League.
I know.
I've been kicking the tires on him, but I can't have him in Nuke.
After the roster cuts, man, my squad is trim. I don't know what to do.
Mine too. Just let it roll, bro.
Yeah, I know. You feel a lot better when you got 23 guys. Then you come down to fucking 20. It's shit.
17 technically, because 3 of them you can't play
Yeah.
for 6 weeks at least.
So, yeah, I looked at my running backs, and I only got the 4 I've fucking been chopping for a little bit. And then, talking about running backs, man, the fucking second-year guys are getting demolished.
Yeah, they are.
The fuck? I'm
Akers,
feeling like
Dobbins.
the
Etienne's that
guy,
first
He's
year
just
guy.
sitting here with Swift, like, oh, fuck me.
Gibson. I'm just waiting for the fucking balls to drop on this shit.
And Gibson has been battling injuries.
Yeah,
throughout his career last year. I mean, I would knock on wood, but I'd also trade him for
Tough to
second.
find.
Let's flip the script
try,
here.
good
Gator. How
try.
about we do that with the wide receivers? Busts.
Oh, wide receiver bust. Oh, easily
Do you have the thing made for that? The banner?
wide receiver bust.
No, 2021.
And we're not talking about, if they get injured or anything like that.
What's happening, Matt?
Yo.
What's up, Matt?
I can make
What's
banner.
up, player?
Well, nonetheless, who's your 2021 wide receiver bust? Gage's Rage.
Not me first.
Star Lamar.
Not
It's
me
hard.
second.
I got a couple names running through my head right now. How high do they need to be drafted?
I would say this would be the same situation, but reversed. A guy that's getting drafted as a top 24 that has a chance to slide out of the top 40.
Kenny Galladay.
I agree, 1,000,000%.
Galladay is
Oh,
not in the
that's-
top 24 though.
He's close.
Yeah.
He's not?
No, he's not even close right now.
Fuck.
Kenny Galladay is. Well, I guess he is close. He's 29.
We'll
Closer
count
than
it
I
because
thought
that's
it
my
was.
pick too.
We'll count him.
No, we all
I
need
mean, I
busts.
You're
had
looking at
Allen
it-
Robinson flowing through my head, but he always seems to overperform what I think he's going to do. And
Yeah, but this is the thing though with Robinson is he's always been a target machine. If Mooney does take and cut into his targets by like 4 a game, he might not be a top 24 guy anymore.
yeah, where's Jamar Chase's average draft position?
It's gotta be
He's
about
25.
25.
Oh.
I would throw him
Well,
That's
no,
as a
that's
potential
prime
bust
one.
too.
yeah, he's ranked wide receiver
I
25.
feel like my comparison of Jefferson and Chase and Hopkins and Sammy Watkins, were they even drafted in the same positions? Sammy went 4, didn't he?
I think so.
And Chase went 4.
No.
Chase went 5.
I
Chase
thought
went 5.
Sammy was a little later.
Oh yeah,
than
Pitts went
4.
4. I think
Ooh.
Sammy went 4.
I thought he was like
AJ
6.
Green went 7.
What
No,
year
that was
he
a Julio
drafted?
draft. It was 2014.
You just named my bust.
Julio.
Julio.
I like that too. I like that a lot.
Already
Watkins was
questionable
4.
with a
Watkins
leg
went 4.
injury. Going to a new system, new
Mike Evans
quarterback.
went next.
A lot of good things
Next year?
potentially.
No, this
a lot of
next in that
upgrades,
draft.
but
7.
new does not always mean better.
And he's going to a team that loves to run the football. Atlanta's
Has
never
an
been in a
absolute
situation to do that.
Dime in AJ Brown, who's going to be the one. I think that could be
Julio's a
scary
good pick.
situation for Julio.
Based on the ADP of Fantasy Pros, top 24, I'm going to go with T. Higgins. He's sitting at 24, but I think he's a clear guy that can drop out of that top 40, especially with the competition there.
One of those Cincinnati guys is going to not live up to expectations, and
What the
possibly 2
fuck?
of them.
Matt, explain yourself, man.
What'd
He's
he
talking
say?
about a vampire draft.
Oh,
Vampire League? Do you know what that
yeah,
is?
I do know what that
He
is.
said he's the vamp.
The vampire leagues.
What is that?
I think it is top scoring teams can snipe players from the bottom scoring teams every week.
Holy shit. What?
That's like some presidents and assholes type
How is he
stuff.
the vampire? Matt's terrible at fantasy football.
Well, if he'd be the vampire, I would
It's
assume he
not
was
the
the
same
top
Matt.
scoring
Oh.
team.
I almost guarantee it's not the same Matt.
Matt, is that the way it is? That
that-
sounds nuts.
Matt, confirm or deny, is the Vampire League where the top scoring teams get to snipe from the bottom scoring teams each
We're going to
week?
have to wait.
some blood sucking
Yeah,
going
he
on
left.
there.
He's going to end up having to
Jeez.
come back if we want to answer on that.
So we got
But
Julio as a bust. We got
I chose T. Higgins. I mean, if I'm going to go with somebody, he's the safe pick. If I'm going to go with something a little bit more splashy, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go Tyler Lockett. Dwayne Eskridge could make a step up there. So I'll throw Tyler Lockett in there.
I don't see Tyler leaving the top 40 outside of injury.
okay. Matt explained it here. He says basically he didn't draft anyone, so he has to create a team just off the waiver wire. But if he beats anyone in the league, he gets to steal a player.
Yeah.
So
Throughout the season?
is there only one vampire then in the entire league? Or do more get created?
I always thought there was more than one, but I never
sounds
played it.
really cool. Actually,
That does sound wicked fun. Wild.
Do you think
Should we
you
bring
could
that
do
in
it?
next year?
I'd try that shit. That
Dude,
sounds
in
fun
our
as fuck.
friends league next year, I would volunteer to be the vampire.
No, vampire is what you want to be. That's like saying I want to be hitting tag.
How
You
hard
want to
you-
be the vampire?
How hard would it be to be the vampire to win a game
In
off
that
of
league?
just
In
free
that
agency?
league of jokers? Come on, man.
Well,
Can
I'm
you
just saying,
trade?
No, I doubt it. No, you have to.
Do you have
No.
first on the waiver wire? Like no matter what,
you would have to. You would have to until you win a game or something. Like
Matt says he's the only vampire. That'd
Matt,
be fucking dope. Only
keep-
one.
Matt, keep us in the loop and
Yes.
send us your roster right now. I'm interested. Send us a roster at officialbutthole@gmail.com. And if we get it before we're done with the show, we'll read your roster off on air. Because this has me so intrigued.
I've never
How do
had
you-
that before either. That
How do you
sounds so
find
cool.
11 sacrificial lambs though for you to just suck the blood out of? Like, how does this happen?
Well, let's look right now. I
No
mean,
way
we
he
have
beats a team every
we have
week.
decent quarterbacks that you could go in our yearly league,
Yeah, and
and
if,
you'd have 12 more options.
Let's build a butthole yearly league vampire team right now.
Okay.
Just hypothetically.
Cam Akers, J.K. Dobbins,
Brutal.
1 and 2.
That's 0 points a week.
All right, our flex, Travis Etienne.
All right.
Nice.
We got a really good team a year from now.
Is it keeper? Is this Dynasty Vampire League?
This is Dynasty.
Vampire
We have T.Y. Hilton and Brashad Perriman.
Because TY's neck isn't an issue.
Brashad Perriman's work
Unemployed.
status is not an issue.
No. In all seriousness, though, if you're looking at running backs, projected top scoring guys, you'd be like Gio Bernard, Latavius Murray,
Oh,
Wayne Gallman, Malcolm Brown, James White, Boston Scott.
so Matt says it's an uphill battle. He gets dibs on the waiver wire each week, though. So that's definitely
So
an
the players
advantage.
that come out and bust out onto the scene. he gets-
Injuries. Yep.
Yeah.
And he hasn't really made a team yet. That's why he's checking us out to try and get some sleepers. So
Rondale
Matt,
Moore.
Jacoby Myers, I think, could be a really good team for a vampire one.
Rondale Moore has a big. So basically, what I understand from the
AJ
vampire
Green, too.
perspective
Oh, that'd be perfect.
is you don't care about floors. You want
No,
ceilings.
Yeah, you're just trying to beat some guys.
So
man.
Rondale Moore is a guy that could 1 week go off for 102. AJ Green could do the same. Jacoby Myers, he could possibly do that. So you want guys that are going to just pop, ruin somebody's
Hit a week,
life, and then you
can
take their
steal
player.
Their fucking
Let's
McCaffrey.
go.
Oh, man. Tight ends, you could be looking at like Tyler Kroft. He's had a really good connection with Zach Wilson in the preseason so far. 2
Okay.
touchdowns.
Tim
that week.
Tebow. Pat Fairmouth.
Dude, in this vampire league, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to hit a wide receiver that absolutely explodes, and then I'm stealing the best running back.
Oh, yeah.
Build running backs off of stealing them, and then try and get some consistent guys or some high ceiling guys at the
God,
same time.
I
What's
love
This
what's
is so
Elijah
fucking- we
Moore's
should start one of
roster
these.
percentage?
we should do one this
Riley,
year.
Yeah,
I
we
would-
still have a lot of
I
time.
would absolutely love the idea of doing a
I'm
vampire league.
hyped for that.
And think about it. If you're one of the 11 teams, you're building a decent team with that. As
I
well. That's
still
16
contend.
less players that you get to work with.
I still contend, though, if we do this, you
It's
do
a
a
keeper
league
league.
that everybody has the chance to be a vampire. If you win that week, you can pluck from the team that you beat. But then the teams that lose get priority on the waiver wire.
Scott, that doesn't make any sense.
That
We're
does
not,
make sense.
we're not recreating the Vampire League that we just learned about.
I think we are.
He's looking at Devin Singletary and Philip Lindsay right now. Some of the top 2 sleepers out there. I don't.
I
mind
like
Phillip
them
Lindsay.
both.
Singletary ain't bad. Yeah, that's not.
Yeah.
That's a.
That's better than we got for running back options. We're stuck with Gio Bernard and Latavius Murray in our friends league.
That's what we're doing. Yeah.
Gio Bernard ain't a bad pick, but though I mean he could be sniping guys right off the fucking rip.
Where is Gio now?
Tampa,
Tampa.
Bay.
Tampa Bay.
By name from the man himself, TB12.
Plucked them.
I love this idea, Matt. This is legendary. I'm excited
We're-
to see where this goes for you.
We're going to do one this year. Yeah. Keep us in the loop on how your team's doing. We want to hear all about it.
That's awesome.
All right. Moving into disappointments for the 2021 season.
That's different than busts.
I don't know. Not sure.
Are we
Is that what
are we
you're-
That was
limited
the
to
exact
wide
same thing,
receivers?
Brandon.
That's-
Or
I-
just
he
to
said,
any
I
position?
had no idea what he's talking about when he sent it to me today. I was just like, okay, disappointing. We'll put it down.
I live a life of disappointment. That was just in my text.
that was a whole nother note.
He was
that
reading
keeping
a text
track
he
of.
got while he was trying to send one.
Disappointed.
Meant to send that to someone else.
It just crossed him up for it.
I like how you call years seasons too. Like all your disappointments from 2021, you just write seasons at the end.
Yeah.
It's a full year of
Yes.
disappointment.
Just a whole year of disappointments.
One after another.
That's why the text ended up being like 8 fucking space bars.
Oh, there's a lot of disappointings in there too.
A lot of disappointments.
A lot.
The ride home from Casey's, the ride to Casey's. Oh.
Yes, the coffee pot that I walked up to thinking it was ice cold water. I was hammered, Gage.
It was.
I know the feeling.
All right. Well, exciting news. I don't know if you two have heard about it, but one of our sponsors, Thrive Fantasy, which you can get $100 match, instant bonus sign up by using promo code BUD. So do it. Thrive Fantasy. Not 2 T's.
With a D, not 2 T's.
That's right. But what you can do is when you actually set up a game, you're playing daily fantasy, money against the pool, right?
Yep.
You're picking prop bets instead of picking players like DraftKings and FanDuel does. So you're going to be picking, do you think that Lamar Jackson is going to rush for 89.5 yards? Over, under. You get to pick 10 props. Whoever gets the most points wins. Some, if you pick the safer option, you get less points. You pick the riskier one and it hits, you get more points.
Okay.
It's awesome. Thrive Fantasy also, congratulations, just became, Jaguars?
The
Official DFS for the Jaguars.
For the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, shit.
Ooh,
Our sponsor.
Working
We've been paired
hand
with
in
them
foot.
for a fucking long ass time.
Yes, we have.
Way longer than Jags.
Way longer. We are
We're-
Thrive OGs.
Yeah. We're more important than the Jags. Fans.
Yes.
We
You
reach,
said they'll
we
match
reach
up
a
to
broader
$100
audience.
100 on new sign up, instant deposit
Damn.
Yep.
Code Bud.
with code BUD.
That's sick.
It's awesome.
And it
Match
is-
100.
They'll
match.
match up to
They
100.
don't just give me 100.
No,
No.
Bullshit.
Nope.
And
Think about it. $200, that could win you 200,000.
it could,
If
especially
you listen to the Butthole every week.
for sure.
You get a deep sleeper.
And if you take that 200,000 and you listen to our stock advice from 3 years ago,
Holy
you would be
shit.
rich as hell.
Oh, time travel. One hell of a drug.
Oh boy.
Oh, it's that time again.
No! Where's my notepad?
No boy.
Yes.
It is now time to play Butthole 5.
All right, you heard the lady. It's now time to play Butthole 5. Everybody knows the rules, but I'm going to explain them anyway. You have 30 seconds
35.
to name the top 5 or whatever category I give you. The time will start after I read the question. You'll get 1 point for each correct answer. Does not matter the order. If there's a tie, we'll go into a tiebreaker round 6 through 10. Another 30 seconds. If there happens to be a tie after that, we'll go back and forth on pick 11 until we get a winner. All right. Clear to everyone?
Clear as
Yes,
mud.
sir.
Here's Bud.
Okay. You guys just get each other. Wow.
Simpatico.
One weekend of drinking together, and you two are like, clear as mud, baby. Okay. All right.
Buds.
The timer is going to start after I read the question. And we also have a graphic on screen for those watching.
Oh, shit.
All right. I want you to give me the most targeted running backs in 2020. The most targeted running backs in 2020. Man, I spelled that wrong too.
This was very frustrating.
So hard.
I blanked for 20 seconds.
I put a guy that I think missed the whole season.
I got
McCaffrey?
No, Eckler.
I got one name that I'm
I-
confident in. and
I have
that's
a
it.
couple I'm confident in.
I only got 4. Did we get 35 seconds that time?
I got 4 as well.
I wrote down 4, but
Brandon's
a couple of them I
quickly
don't think are even
Googling
close.
who they
No,
are.
no. No, I asked the question wrong, so my graphic's going to be incorrect. But
The most targets said.
I meant to say what I meant to say.
Target
and
is did.
well, yeah, I'm an
Target's
idiot.
dead.
Hey, if it doesn't have a spelling error, is it really a butthole post?
No.
Let's be honest here.
It's our staple.
At
What I
this
meant
point,
to
it's a
say,
bit.
which
Target's
running
a-
backs had the most receptions? That's what I
Oh,
meant
Totally
to say.
different
Dude,
fucking
Totally
question.
different question, but it's
It's
not
done.
Gonna, it's not
What's
gonna fit
done
my
is
graphic.
done.
It's not going to fit my graphic.
What's
so,
done is done.
All right, Gage, you go first.
Fuck Brandon. That's fucked.
Just read
There'll
yours
be an
off.
asterisk on this.
We
Yeah,
all
it's
operated
definitely
under the same pretense.
No,
No,
asterisk, I'm winning.
No, it's the same thing.
Okay,
We're going by
McSucket.
this question.
J.D. McKissick,
Okay,
Alvin Kamara, Aaron Jones, Dalvin Cook.
Scott.
I had Alvin Kamara, Nyheim Hines, Antonio Gibson, and Austin Eckler.
Start
I
Lamar.
have Alvin Kamara, Delvin Cook, James Robinson, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Well, we have a tiebreaker going into round 2. Star Lamar is the loser. All right. Top 5 targeted players, running backs is J.D. McKissick, Alvin Kamara, Nyheim Hines, Ezekiel Elliott, and Mike Davis. All right. Time starts now. I want you guys to give me the next 5 most targeted running backs. And then, like, I'll just show what my wrong answers were. Three, 2, 1. All right, we started with Gage first, so we're going to start with Scott this time.
I went Dalvin Cook, Antonio Gibson, Austin Eckler, Kenyon Drake, James Robinson.
Okay, Gage's rage.
I went Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams. You gotta get like one there. Dalvin Cook, and Brandon or Jacob, Josh Jacob. No, I put Cooks.
I was like,
Not
you're
a
making
player.
someone up off the top of your head.
That's not
You're
a player.
even-
Cooks
you're
ain't a
not even
player.
looking at your
This is a
paper,
fucking you're a
and you're
cheater.
stuttering.
How many times have you done that since we've been
Aaron
playing Bubble
Jones,
5?
Dalvin Cook. Cooks. Who's Cooks?
Brandon Cooks?
Brandon Cooks is a wide receiver, but he probably would have been in the top 10.
God. All right, we're going into a tiebreaker round.
Because no one
No.
got any?
We
We
both got Cook.
got one. No, Dalvin Cook was not one of the most targeted running backs.
Oh, Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones, but it goes David Montgomery, Chase Edmonds, Austin Eckler, Aaron Jones, James White. All right, we're going to start with Gage. Pick 11. Who is it?
Dalvin Cook.
Scott.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Gage.
Joe Mixon. Oh,
Scott.
he's hurt.
Kenyon Drake.
Gage.
What the fuck? I'm so confused now. Oh, I got a good one.
Boss. Derrick Henry.
Scott.
J.K. Dobbins.
Gage. J.K. Dobbins caught like one ball in December, dude.
Well, we're at 11 by now.
Antonio Gibson.
Scott. Come on, guys. I'm all right.
Miles Sanders.
Give a division.
Yes, I'm going to have to. He is in the AFC South.
David Johnson.
Scott.
James Robinson.
Winner.
Boom. Let's go.
Although there are no winners in this game here.
Where
Well,
was
okay.
David Johnson?
In our defense, we
I
were
don't
bound to
fucking know.
fail from the start because the question was wrong off the top.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
fast.
yeah,
But then he
Sure.
gave
David
the right
Johnson
answers.
was like somewhere around 20. I did give the right answers. What I meant to say, which running backs had the most receptions in 2020? And that answer would have been Alvin Kamara, J.D. McKissick, Nyheim Hines, Mike Davis, David Montgomery, and Eckler tied for 5th.
Solid.
So Eckler, he did make the list in the second half
Yep.
of it.
And then, for fun, afterwards, it would a couple other guys.
All right, everybody. That wraps up this episode of the
What a
official
brutal end.
Butthole podcast.
Episode 265 in the books.
Remember
had to give him one. I knew all that.
to
Yeah.
go subscribe to the Butthole on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts.
Fucking everywhere.
We got
Do
one
it.
subscriber tonight.
Sponsored by the
Hell
Blue Collar
yeah. Let's
Media
get it,
Group.
Matt.
Follow us on Twitter and Facebook. And always remember,
Go jerk off.
Bye.